Hey guys, today we're talking about Inu, the Fleet Admiral of the Marines, because I think he has a few secrets to him, believe it or not. And I got my boy Sai, the number one Inu fan on the planet.
I love Akainu, man. He's just so great overall, from a design perspective to power to Oda Glaze himself. Like there's just so many things to go off of, man. I'm here for Akainu.
So as you also notice, we're saying it in two different ways. He says Akainu, I say Inu. It's just how it kind of happens. I mainly say it that way because like that's how his name is like constructed. Aka Inu, red dog. Like all of the admirals have like that color and then animal associated with them. I think it's supposed to go back to like the story of Momotaro, right? Where Momotaro met like a monkey, a pheasant, and a dog. And then we have the three admirals. Aka Inu is the red dog, Kizaru is the yellow monkey, and then Kuzan is the blue pheasant, which is pretty interesting. But we're talking about Aka Inu here. So the first thing that I would like to discuss is what truly happened between him and Kuzan on Punk Hazard. Because we don't really know too much about it. We only saw maybe one or two panels of it in both the anime and the manga. Never like them fighting or anything, kind of just them standing, right? We know the end result was Punk Hazard being terraformed, essentially, through the implication of their awakened Logia fruits completely changing the environment. That is one theory as to why that transpired. But my personal theory as to what happened with that fight was they had a deal beforehand. Like they went into that knowing what was going to happen, and whoever won would become the Fleet Admiral, which we, the audience, know, but we don't know any other details to that. And I think the other detail to that was loser of the fight goes undercover, Departed style. If no one's seen The Departed, you should watch it. It's one of the best movies ever. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I've seen that theory before, saying that Kuzan is being sent on a mission to spy on Blackbeard. I agree that Kuzan is undercover, but where I get tripped up is the Blackbeard specificity of it. The thing with Kuzan working under Blackbeard is that it seemed really random, right? Kuzan was just at a random bar, Blackbeard subordinates showed up, he froze them, and then Blackbeard showed up. It didn't look like Kuzan was actively looking for Blackbeard to join him. It was just happenstance brought them together. So I do think Kuzan is still undercover. I think he's undercover right now, even though, he froze Garp and almost killed him. I think he still has a lot of good in his heart personally. I mean, we even saw him shed tears over at Garp, right? So I think he works with an ulterior motive, but I don't think that he necessarily was going after Blackbeard from the get. I think he was really just aiming for any pirate group or anyone that he could ride the wave with. And it's interesting because when Blackbeard offers Kuzan a position in the crew, he says, hey, we both have our own goals. We're just going to help each other along the way. And that's what Kuzan agreed to. He never said that he wanted to work with Blackbeard or anything like that. Like, Kuzan has his own goal that we just don't know of yet. And I kind of wonder if Blackbeard even knows, right? Like what is Kuzan really after? But I love that idea that one goes undercover, one becomes Fleet Admiral, because that's like yin and yang. It's so different. My headcanon, and this, like I said, this is just headcanon, but I kind of imagine Akainu just outright winning this battle immediately. Because when you look at the battle scars, right, Akainu walked out of it with the crazy scar on his chest and his neck, but Kuzan, he lost a leg, dude. He straight up lost a leg. Like, Kuzan was not looking good after that fight. And we have the dialogue from Jimbei on Fishman Island where he says that Akainu could not bring himself to kill Kuzan. Because they were once friends, because they grew up together, Akainu just couldn't pull the trigger. So because of that one thing, it almost feels like Akainu just stomped Kuzan. Like he just didn't lose. So my headcanon is that it's kind of like an Unohana versus Kenpachi thing from Bleach, where Akainu just kept on beating Kuzan, but he just couldn't pull that trigger over and over. Because like the 10-day time frame is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they fought for 10 days. It's like, wait, what? Like, really? Like, most fights in One Piece last like a single day.
Yeah, I was going to say,
days?
Luffy could barely fight for like 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah, with like Gear 5th and everything and Gear 4th, it's like Luffy runs out of steam, dude. What do you mean 10 days? I think Ace versus Jinbei was 3 days, which is also a little bit silly. I think Otis has fun with the time frame.
He
honest,
does.
but like I said, that's my headcanon.
But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Extra Wallet. So if you've been following my channel for some time now, you'll know that I love the Extra Wallet. I've been using it for almost 4 years now. In fact, Extra is one of the first sponsors that we've had on the channel. And the main reason I love Extra Wallet is because it's super slim and it has quick card access. That's right, it has a trigger mechanism that pops up your card. Like I said, I've been using this for almost 4 years now, and it still never gets old. Extra also has its new Card Holder Pro. It lets you hold 2 extra cards and their new Finder card. And speaking of the Finder card, it's an ultra slim rechargeable tracking device that pairs with Apple Find My, allowing you to track your wallet and other belongings with ease. You can also ring your Finder card from up to 300 feet away. Extra also has this incredibly aesthetic money clip to hold all of your loose cash. So guys, if you were waiting to get your Extra wallet, now is the time to do it because of their Black Friday sale, where you're gonna get up to 50% off. But not only that, if you use my code Zhoniin1, you're gonna get up to 55% off. That is truly remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen this much of a sale from Extra. So now is the time, guys. Check the link in the description. And again, use code Zhoniin1. Thanks.
So Aki Inu was so much more powerful than Kuzan that he was just dominating him for 10 days without just like killing him.
Okay, that sounds a little bit silly. I'll dial it back.
No. Because that's literally what happened with Urahana and Kenpachi. Right? She was bringing him to the brink of death and bringing him back for like, I don't remember the exact time frame, but it was a very long time, right?
Yeah, because they were like trapped in this like little, it was almost like the hyperbolic time chamber of Bleach. But, realistically, I think Akainu did beat Kuzan. I don't think he just, kept on stalling out the fight over and over. But as far as the awakening thing goes, I do agree with that.
Okay, so maybe you're not on board that there was collusion before this fight. Like, one goes undercover, one becomes the Fleet Admiral. But what if they are... Okay, let's actually just remove Kuzan for the equation. What if Aki Inu is a member of Sword? Because on that one cover page, I forget what chapter it is, it's like when he's pruning the bonsai and like Kizaru's there, Aki Inu has his shirt off. And I think that's the only time we ever see him with it off, right? He has like Yakuza-esque tattoos. Yeah. And on his, I think it's his right bicep.
It's his left.
He has a sword tattoo. And it's not just like a typical sword. It looks exactly like the sword that Joy Boy holds in the silhouette that Who's Who imagines, right?
Yeah.
It's like that
fair,
Roman-esque sword, right?
Yeah. It's like your stereotypical sword that you think of when you think of like a game RPG or a logo. But yeah, as far as Akainu being in Sword, I could see it because Hibari is a part of Sword, which I know sounds a little bit silly, but there's a long ongoing theory that Hibari is Akainu's daughter. And
another secret of Aki Inu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like the second thing right there. But like with Akainu, there's a couple of specific things we know about his character. We know his age. We know he has a very unique dialect. Because when he speaks Japanese, it is of a particular region in Japan, and that's a thing that only Akainu had until Hibari was introduced. Hibari is the only other character that shares the same dialect. And then, of course, we have the two-piece Kobayama manga, which is a spin-off of One Piece made by Oda's editor and, sanctioned by Oda and Shueisha, where there's a character that looks like Akainu, and there's a character that looks like Hibari, and their father-daughter. And also, the girl, Madoka is her name, but she has a crush on a character that looks like Kobe. So like there's a lot of parallels there. I think it's very on the nose. And then we had the Vivid card drop just like 2 weeks ago where we learned Hibari's blood type, which might not sound important, but she shares the same blood type as Akainu. And, at first it's like, okay, that's a little bit strange, but we gotta remember, Sanji's blood type is why we thought he was royalty all the way back 15 years ago. And now we have the same blood type for Hibari and Akainu, and it's like, okay, if we're saying Sanji's royalty because of that, and it was true, this connection's pretty apparent too. I think it's set in stone. So Akainu being a part of Sword, it could just be because he wants to protect his daughter, help out his daughter, or maybe he doesn't like Sword and that's why he got the sword facing down because he's like, oh, like, I can't believe my daughter's doing this. There's a lot of ways you could spin it, but I think the connection's there.
Yes. I'm personally convinced that Hibari is Aki Inu's daughter because it would just be too perfect for Kobe's ultimate revenge on him, right?
Oh god, yeah, that's gonna be a crazy scene. Like, how would they even, like, dude, if Hibari jumps into the mix, I don't think Kobe could fight, and I also don't think Akainu could fight either, right? Like, I think Hibari is gonna be that one butch I'll put that will just stop everything. Like, she has Akainu's heart, I think. Of course, we haven't seen them interact. We don't know. I'm just taking a guess, but a lot of these hard-ass characters, like, they have that one weakness, and I think Hibari is gonna be that for Akainu.
She is. But I was actually being a little more meaner with my sentiment. And it's that, you know how Aki Inu just tried to straight up murder Kobe. And I'm not saying he was wrong. That's up for you to decide. But his ultimate revenge would be like, oh yeah, you hate me, you call me a little baby, trying to murder me. Well, how about, now your daughter's my girlfriend. And
that's crazy, dude.
That's the ultimate revenge. It's like, I'm your daughter, Aki Inu. All right? What do you... Game over.
I feel bad for my guy, dude. I feel so bad for Akainu. I mean, hopefully Kobe proves himself and Akainu does end up liking Kobe. I feel like that's a really tangible possibility. Their senses of justice are completely different, but I think there's always room for character growth. And Akainu is not exempt from that. I feel like once he sees Dragon again, or once he sees Kobe grow, or once he sees what the world government's up to, I do think Akainu will change a little bit. Of course, we have to talk about how much he'll change, but we do know that Oda's come out on multiple occasions saying that he loves Akainu. Akainu has the best design. Like, verbatim, that is what Oda said. He said Akainu's the most handsome guy in the series that he's ever designed. And he also said that he wants to cherish Akainu. Like, okay. It's also based off of one of his favorite actors, too. So it's like, yeah, I think once we get that Akainu stuff, I feel like it will be good. And that's the funniest thing, too. People are like, oh, people are glazing Akainu. But it's like, guys, if you want to talk about Akainu glaze, talk to Oda, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one putting this in SBSs and interviews, dude. Oda loves this guy.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, he would get the One Piece in like a year. No problem. It's like, all right, man.
Oh, yeah.
Not even like Reddit is that high on him.
Yeah, that's why when people put him in the top 5, they're like, wait, why? Like, why are people putting Akainu so high up? It's like, dude, ask Oda. I mean, Oda gave this guy a 5 billion berry bounty with Crosscode. You see that?
Yeah, pretty controversial.
That's
I'm not going to say
insane.
it's not. I'm not going to say that he's not worthy of a 5 billion bounty, but
He upgrades when we see him though.
Yeah, there's a whole other discussion about how strong he truly is, but I guess that's it for this one, guys. We went over all the secrets of Aki Inu, at least so far. Once again, thank you for Sai coming on the channel. His channel link will be in the description as always, and have a great day. See you guys.